Welcome back, folks, to the final part of the Mega Man X3 Let's Play. It's a bit of a longer, chunkier part because we got quite a bit of alternate routes in this section, and I decided to show them because I like y'all, and I just wanted to show y'all this because I'm a good guy. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the way I get energy tanks filled up in this earlier part before we get the primary way I fill up my energy tanks. But you want to make sure that you have the frost shield before you do this. But at this point, absolutely you should have the frost shield. But you can do this as early as as soon as you talk to seahorses level, or an area where you got small little robots like this that you can destroy with the frost shield. Because this is actually where I learned that the frost shield can drop small and large energy pickups, life energy pickups. I might have said it in an earlier part, but this is actually when I went and looked for ways to recharge your energy really quickly without the hyper chip, which we'll talk about the hyper chip later when we get it. But it makes it really quick to get energy tanks filled up, because to get the ultimate upgrade to X in this game, not only do you have to have all the equipment, the 4 ride armors, the 8 heart tanks, the 4 armor parts, I feel like I'm forgetting something, 8 heart tanks, 4 ride armors, and the 4 armor parts. You need to have X go to that location with full health. You don't need the energy tanks to be full, but you do need to walk into that area with a full life bar. So right here, be very careful about the ceiling. It will be deceptively quick with how that ceiling drops with the spikes, and those are instant death spikes, of course, so just be wary about that. And then when you get up here, I actually did die right here, and I cut it out because I just didn't want to chew up too much time. But here, be very careful how you go up this, because if you so much as stub your toe in between those things, X will die. And in a way, it's deceptively easy to die there. I died once, and I really wasn't expecting to die there. I thought I was going at a normal pace, but I in fact did die. Once you clear this area, you're going to get really close to the first sub-boss of the area, which is Rex 2000. As soon as I get there, I think it's like right down this hall, which there's no door, but this is the area for Rex 2000. Now Rex 2000 is weak to the Frost Shield and the Triad Thunder, but I went ahead and used the Brace Splasher. I don't know why. I was thinking this was its weakness, but it does go down really quickly. It's not a super hard boss, and when you have Zero here, assuming you kept Zero alive, he will stop the ceiling from destroying you if you don't destroy Rex 2000 really quickly. So actually no, I used the Acid Burst here, but as you see here, it just took him out really quickly. If Zero wasn't here, you'd have to hit a switch, I think, to stop the ceiling. I want to say, I'm not sure. I normally always have Zero by this point. I don't really let Zero die until Doppler 2 for reasons. That's a second big upgrade. But we can go ahead and leave here, and I'm just going to go ahead and switch to my normal arm parts. So right here, or I guess my normal bust, not arm parts. Go up here, but be very careful, is that red Morning Star robot will be there. So just shoot it, destroy it, eradicate it. And of course, just be very careful with these green sentry bots. They go down really quick with Frost Shield, or even Acid Burst can disrupt their projectiles from leaving their bodies. They'll shock themselves for a little bit. Now here, go down this pit, but make sure you have full health. If you don't, use an energy tank before you enter this room, and you'll be graded to a Dr. Light capsule.
Enter this capsule, X. Seriously, it's so good. Install this chip to enhance all your parts. The situation should now be improved. Good luck, X.
Now, what Dr. Light is not saying is that this chip is going to improve X to the absolute max. He's actually going to get gold armor, and this is the gold hyper armor, or the gold third armor, whatever you want to call it. And this chip is going to allow you to double air dash with X. It will give you an upgraded shield, so instead of it taking the blue one, which I think is 25, it will reduce it by 50%. So you get approximately 75% total damage reduction if you get hit any time after that shield's deployed, according to the Mega Man Wikia. Your arm parts give you access to the Hypercharge, which is basically a weapon energy version of your Mega Buster. It just lets you shoot charge shots until it runs out. And then you get the head chip, which is by far the best part in the Hyper Chip, in my opinion, because you will be able to charge your energy while just staying still. Takes a long time, but it is handy before you encounter Sigma or Dr. Doppler or anything like that, if you don't have your energy tanks refilled or your life bar refilled. And it also does refill your energy tanks if you're at full health. This lovely elephant here is the armor presser, I believe. I want to say, no. It's the press disposer. Its weaknesses are the tunnel fang, or the tornado fang, I should say, and then the ray splasher. Now, its weakness is the trunk at first, and I like to take it out with the tornado fang. Once it switches to this, I find that the hitbox is a little bit wonky with the tornado fang, so I switch to the ray splasher. But once you destroy the trunk, it will flood the whole bottom area with acid, which isn't an insta kill, but it does hurt. But with the double air dash, you should be able to do some mid-air shenanigans to avoid some of this stuff. I'm trying to do it, but I'm failing epically. Ray splash seems a bit random, but after figuring that spot on the wall that you can shoot the ray splasher from to hit the mouth, you'll know where to shoot and then when to shoot it. It's not completely random. It does follow, I think, a fixed pattern. And with that, the press disposer is destroyed, and then you will move to Dr. Doppler's second level. But because there was an alternate boss if you left Bit and Bite alive, I'm going to go ahead and show that. And my god, the name for this boss, I don't know what they were thinking, but you know, it is what it is. If you leave Bit and Bite alive, you cannot go up here. That path is closed off, so you have to go down here at the bottom. And if you left both Bit and Bite alive, or either one of them just alive and the other one dead, you'll have to fight this boss, which in a way it's a little bit faster than Press Disposer, but I don't ever really fight this boss that much because I always take them out, which shows here. But he has a much bigger hitbox than Press Disposer, which makes it easy, but I never ever get a chance to fight it, and so I don't have its pattern memorized like I do Press Disposer. But they'll fuse together with Fusion Ha! And it becomes God Karma Machine, or Garkar Machine on Inari, which, okay, that's a long ass name for just say a combined form of Bit and Bite. I mean, they could have called it, I don't know, Kilobyte, maybe, but, or Terabyte or Megabyte, but he can grab you with his hands, but in doing so, he makes his body just a giant target to hit with the Ray Splasher. His most dangerous attack is that Sabre that's from Bit, and then when it reaches you, it will go up and down, or I guess when it hits the wall, it'll split off into a top and bottom slash. But God Karma Machine Inari is not hard at all. Also, if you move behind him, it will shoot some homing shots to cover its blind spot. So, not a hard boss at all, but it's the boss that you get if you don't destroy Bit and Bite, both of them. So now we'll go into the second level, which also has an alternate boss depending if you left Vile alive. This is what the level looks like if you left Vile alive, or if you took out Vile. It looks awesome, it looks pristine, doesn't look like it's been destroyed, like someone went into a mad rampage or temper tantrum. Now you can get the second of X's ultimate upgrades in here, but in exchange you have to lose 0. You don't have a choice in that. If you choose this upgrade, you lose 0. You don't have a choice in it. And also, you have to have destroyed Vile as well. So if you left Vile alive, you cannot get this upgraded. So it requires you to kill Vile in an earlier level, and then you have to choose to lose 0. Now this is where I show the frog armor in all of its wonderful glory, but I don't know how to really pilot this thing very well. It literally just hops. It shoots tornadoes, so it's kind of like it has homing torpedoes in it. And I'm over here trying to think if I can like make this thing jump even faster, but no. I want to say if you're underwater, it will float. I want to say, I'm not sure. But I almost died right there, and I'm not too keen on dying. That was the frog armor in a nutshell. I don't really like it. I'm probably misusing it, but I don't ever see a purpose of using it outside of this one section. So you can go up and wall jump up here, but I'm going to choose to use the frost shield. So I'm going to charge up, make my giant block bicep float it up, or you can just wall jump up. It's whatever you want to do. This is the boss I'm talking about. This will be Mosquitos. And if you switch to 0, which is this is the only time you can fight a mini boss with 0, when you enter that room, 0 is going to die one way or the other. Either the boss will kill 0, or when you beat the boss, 0 will get this damage, and he'll bow out of the rest of the game. So Mosquitos will try to tackle 0. If you hit him with the Z Sabre and you just shoot it with a few more shots, Mosquitos will be destroyed, and he will crash land on 0 and detonate on top of 0. Leaving him with one little piece of his energy bar left. Effectively destroyed him for all intents and purposes for this game. And we will be given his beam saber with X. So this is the only good thing about this outcome. And it also changes the ending in a slightly worse way. I say slightly because the end result's the same. But 0 will be like, I failed. It seems my power generator was damaged. I'll try and make it back to Dr. King's lab for repairs. You can't tell what's waiting for you, X. You better take my beam saber with you. And so we'll get his beam saber. He's like, crush them all, X. You're our last hope. And so you will get Zero's beam saber. So this is the first of 2 times chronologically that X gets to use Zero's saber. The other one being Mega Man X6. As technically X5 if you count the ending as a chronology part. But if you kill Vile, or if you leave Vile alive, Mosquitos will not be in here. You can challenge Mosquitos with X, but nothing will come from it. But if you want to save 0, even if you kill Vile, just run in there with Mega Man X in it, nothing will come from it. So we're going to go back to where I destroyed Vile. That guy got extremely lucky. And the Beam Saber's attack with X, it will shoot a projectile. You can get really close and get the swipe with X as well. It's super powerful. It's like the Hadouken or the Shoryuken. I believe it's a Shoryuken for Mega Man X2. It will basically destroy the enemy in 1 hit. For bosses, it's going to be 2 hits. It will basically just take off half the health. So it's not as strong as Hadouken or Shoryuken, but it is pretty darn strong. The hitbox for the final boss is a little bit wonky, but it is by far the best way to take out the final boss in this game. So right here, this part is painfully fucking slow. I don't like it. So what you want to do is you want to destroy these snails, the shells. You'll be able to ride them up, and you have to climb this vertical pit with spikes that you can't wall jump on, because obviously if you wall jump on spikes, you will die, and that's no fun. So we're going to take our jolly good time here and let the snail do its thing, because snails don't move fast. They move super freaking slow, and it's just painful. So when you get to the other snail, hop a ride on it and just follow it up and pray to God you don't fall down. Otherwise you got to do this all over again, and it's not fun, and it happens to me, but I want to jump cut to where I get to the top. So this snail, switch off to it and then get to it, and then you'll be fine, and then let it go up. And the enemies aren't too much of a problem. Just shoot them and then they'll go down easily. You can't destroy the snails completely, so don't worry about that. So just shoot the shell. I was gonna say shoot the shit out of the shell, but I mean, same difference. You can avoid that snail if you want. I don't know if that is any advantage to jumping to and from that second to last snail on the left. But here I jack up my thing and I fall down, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump cut to where I do it. And this top of the pit marks the end of the level. We'll fight the boss here, which the boss here will be Volt Kirigil. And honestly, I didn't know this thing had a face until I saw the picture of it. Which I don't know. I might have future Phil like zoom in on the face here, but it's super well hidden. I didn't think it was a face. I thought that was just like part of the design of the chassis or body. I thought actually the bottom part was the face in a way. When it opens up, it looks like a face. Maybe that's just me trying to make heads or tails out of something that I didn't quite get, other than the fact it's a squid. But its weakness is the Tri-Thunder. Super easy boss fight. You just stand underneath it and slam into the slam its body into the Tri-Thunder. Its other weakness is the Frost Shield, but I like Tri-Thunder a lot more. It's a lot more quicker in my opinion. You can just jump and hit it, and then jump and hit it, and jump and hit it. But this is the boss that you fight if you do not destroy Vile. Now, if you don't destroy Vile, your boss obviously will be Vile, but Vile will have a different right armor. In this case, he'll have a kangaroo right armor, in a way, I think. I want to say it's a kangaroo right armor. Or it's a much more upgraded kangaroo right armor. So, go down here, and then, of course, the whole area is not flooded for that boss. But Vile will be right here with this huge-ass new Goliath right armor. My waiting has finally come to an end. Prepare to die at the hands of the world's most advanced riding armor, the new Goliath. So Goliath's weaknesses is going to be the Tornado Fang. That's what I'm using. It seems to be working just very, very good. Vile's weaknesses are going to be the same when he's off the right armor. But otherwise, not very hard. You can use a Parasitic Bomb as well on the right armor. But his right armor will use a dash punch, which is super slow. It's kind of like Blizzard Buffalo. And if it hits the wall while you're on it, it will knock you down. So don't be on that don't be on that wall when he does that. He'll also use a light shot where he becomes invincible and shoots a large shot flanked by two smaller shots. It's kind of like X's charge shot. And then he can also shoot little traps with makes little walls that you can wall jump over. But Vile is going to be a little bit faster in this version of this fight. And then his little fire tornado is really quick. I want to say those projectiles he shoots can't paralyze you. I think they trap you, but trap the player on the floor on contact. So yes, they don't cause damage, but they do trap you, giving him time to hit you with a dash attack or his little fire tornado. Now, his dash attack, he will try to catch you, and when he does, he will grab you, and then he'll just like crush you in his hand, which does a lot of damage. But don't think that this is the end, X. That's totally not Vile's voice. I will haunt you until the day you die. But yeah, that was Vile. And also he has a machine gun that he can also hit you with. That's something he can also hit you with. I think that was there, but I mistaked it for his little stun shots as well. But that is it for Vile. Vile is no more. He is dead now until maybe an X8. Maybe. Anyways, we're done with that, and now we'll go to Doppler 3, which Doppler 3 is the boss rush level, and it's also where we will fight the good doctor. So we'll go ahead and go to Doppler 3. And something I found out this playthrough is that the area you get some energy from between the boss rushes, if you hit it with the Beam Saber, you get an extra life, which is kind of neat if you want to stock up on extra lives. So go in here and you'll be greeted to the boss rush. And this boss rush, of course, I'm going to speed it up because, we already fought these bosses already. So this is the thing I was talking about that gives you energy between boss rushes. It will regenerate. But if you hit it with Zero's Beam Saber, you will get an extra life every single time. So that's kind of nice. So let's go ahead and start the boss rush. I'm not going to spend too much time on them since we already know their weaknesses. But it is kind of funny just watching how predictable some of their patterns are. When you speed it up and you hit them with their weaknesses. Like especially Talk to Seahorse and Neon Tiger. Super interesting patterns to look at when you're looking at, like, I think I have these at 8x speed, I think. Yeah, 8x speed. And then Tonal Rhino, same thing. So Tonal Rhino has a little bit of variety if he chooses to do a little bit of variety. Blizzard Buffalo, since I took him on with the X Buster, his weakness is the Parasitic Bomb, so it makes him super easy. Freaking Gravity Beetle, man. He's the frogman of Mega Man X3. Bolt Catfish, probably the longest out of the 8 Mavericks that take forever because just he gets some invincibility frames but not a lot. And then same thing with Blast Hornet. It takes him a bit to die because his attacks, the Gravity Well kind of stuns him in place. He can't take any more damage while Gravity Well's being hit, or Gravity Well's hitting him. So with that, we beat all 8 robot Mavericks, adjective animals. And then we're going to go take on the good Doctor. I'm charging up the Beam Saber just to use it on the Doctor. Which honestly, I should charge it all the way up for a fresh recharge and then hit the Doctor with. But now that I'm thinking about it, this might be the only time, other than Sigma, where the Hyper Buster is good, which is the other energy weapon that you get once you get the Hyper Chip. You get 8 weapons plus the Hyper Chip ability for the Hyper Buster. Because you can just shoot the Hyper Buster off and then bait Doppler's attacks and then hit him with the Z Saber. I've been waiting for you, X. I'm Doppler. I've been watching your battles closely. Your victories over my men have been most impressive. I need superior Reploids like yourself, X. I offer you the chance to join us. Jesus, what's that sound? Together we will build a utopia where Reploids rule under the watchful eyes of Sigma, our Lord and Master. No way, Doc. Your schemes end here and now. Perhaps you are not as smart as I once thought. Prepare to be ripped apart and be born again as part of the new body of Sigma. I don't know what accent I was going for right there. It just came out. And I probably changed Dr. Doppler's voice multiple times. So Dr. Doppler's weakness is the Acid Burst. And then I'm going to take out the Z-Saber to show how powerful it is. But those are his attacks right there. He'll shoot... Well, first off, that green shield, you don't want to hit him with that because it will regenerate him. And his Z-Saber just destroyed half his health bar. He'll shoot little fireballs and he'll do his little charge attack that's cute, but you shoot him with the Z-Saber from behind and then that's it. He won't explode, but he'll like smoke a little bit and then he'll come to his senses. But that's Dr. Doppler. He's not a hard boss at all. Just don't hit him when he's glowing green. You are strong, X. Strong enough to defeat Sigma. Doppler, can you talk? Sigma's true form is that of a computer virus. I was corrupted by him and I created a horrific new body for him. Where's the body now? It's in the underground hangar of this lab. I don't think Sigma has occupied it yet. Don't worry about me. Destroy the body before it's too late. Time is running out. Thanks, Doc. So Dr. Doppler came back to his senses right here, which is kind of cool. You don't really see Mavericks do that very often. In fact, I think there's only one other Maverick that comes to mind that is shall not be named, that is in Mega Man X5. But I digress. Hey, that's Sigma right there. So we get to this underground lab that has all these battle bodies for Sigma. So hopefully we get to Sigma's main body before he's resurrected. But super short level, you're just really trying to get to Sigma's arena. Now you get 2 versions of this cutscene right here. If Zero is alive, he'll come in and assist you and take out the computer core, and he'll be like, I'll destroy the power generator, and he'll smash through the wall right here, and then you'll continue to go upstairs to fight Sigma. So he'll just slash open the wall and be like, okay, bye bye. And you can't call Zero, so I imagine that's the reason why they did that. Now, if you don't let Zero live, he won't appear right there, and that wall will stay intact. And so the power generator will stay functional for the most part. So Sigma's weakness is his first form, hint hint, because you know Sigma has to have multiple forms. His weakness in the first form is the spinning blade and the frost shield. And for the longest time I thought you had to have the boots to go up here, but it turns out you can just wall jump from the left side to go up to that hole. We meet again, X. It was easy to corrupt that fool Doppler. And I would have succeeded if it wasn't for you. If you hadn't interfered, I almost went Scooby-Doo there for a second. But we all are always destined to meet, aren't we, X? Let the eternal struggle begin. So, Captain America's Sigma here is weak against the spin shield. He'll start the fight by shooting these fireballs. And he's very easy to avoid these fireballs. Just dash over him to the wall that he's over. and then just dash, and then use a spinning shield, and it will come back around and smack him in the head. That bald chrome dome. Now, once he gets to half his health, it'll change up his patterns a little bit. He'll throw his frisbee of doom, and it'll make one complete circle. And then he'll also shoot his fireballs down on the ground if you're on the ground. So you don't want to be on the ground, you want to stay on the wall and just keep hitting him with the spinning blade. And once he's below half health, he can also make his frisbee go up another, like to make a figure 8, like that right there. And it becomes a lot harder to dodge, but if you jump over the middle turn, you can avoid that damage. But otherwise, this Sigma form is not difficult. It's pretty easy. You want to have as much health as possible against this Sigma, because Kaiser Sigma, the next form, is very difficult in my opinion. If you don't have the Z Sabre, he's very, very, very difficult. Oh, that's not good. Well done, X. But I'm far stronger than my previous forms. Behold, the power of the ultimate battle body. Yeah, they totally just made a kitchen sink approach to this battle body, it looks like. So, Kaiser Sigma can only be damaged by charge shots to Sigma's big chrome dome there. And the Z Sabre by far is going to do the most damage if you can hit that little window. The Hyper Buster is what I'm using right here. All of his attacks hurt like a mofo. Those bombs that I just got hit by hurts a lot. You take 8 points of damage there. The missiles also give you 8 points of damage. This little beam thing he has is probably the least damage of his attacks, only because it only does, I think it does 1 point of damage per second. So you don't want to stay in there too long, but it is the least damage of his attacks potentially. The other damage he can do is, well, crushing you under his boot, but just showing you how powerful those attacks are, and also because I died, I want to show that off. Now, if you time your Z Sabre strikes right against his head, then you will beat him in 2 hits effectively. So I'm going to charge it up all the way to green state, and then you can kind of sort of try to hit him with the charge shot before the third strike, which the third strike will be the beam saber, and the beam saber will wipe off half of his health. It's easiest to hit him from the front, I feel, and you're aiming for that shoulder area that I just did, and then it will hit him really hard. So the first shot generally won't hit because it's very wide, and that hitbox is very small. It's deceptively small. I mean, it is a head after all. I mean, his head is like the smallest part of that body. But by hitting him with the Z Sabre twice, he will be destroyed, and we're done. Sigma's body is destroyed, and we can proceed for the last portion of the game, which you can still die in this last portion, but it's not very difficult at all. No, it can't be. I can't even defeat you with this magnificent body. Then there seems to be no other choice. I only have one choice now. I'll possess you. And we get Wireframe Sigma, which he's very static. He doesn't move his jaw like he did in Mega Man X2. And this lava is not instant kill. You will take 1 point of damage as long as you're in it. Just don't get crushed underneath the right and left side. Normally I just ride it up and I just heal as I need because I'm lazy. But once you get to here, you can wall jump up, and Sigma will try and knock you into the lava, but again, it's not an instant kill. So if you let Zero die, Doppler will be the one that saves you here. Damn, it's a dead end. Give up, X. I'll possess your body and rule the whole world. Oh, what the fuck? Your Doppler. How did you obtain this? How do you feel now, Sigma? Totally changed his voice again. Do you like my special vaccine for the Sigma virus? X, I'm sorry I have given you so much trouble. I know I can never really atone for what I have done, but I will try to set things right by taking Sigma with me. My program is fading. X, it's time to say goodbye. And with that, Doppler will sacrifice himself to take out the fortress and Sigma, hopefully. And then X will teleport out and he'll be outside by himself. Now, if you let Zero live, this whole scene plays out a little bit differently. Damn, it's a dead end again. I wasn't dead yet. Ah, ha ha. Ha ha ha. Give up, X. Again, I'll possess your body, hopefully, and rule the whole world. What the fuck? That's different music. Ah! You're Zero. It's you again. How do you like that, Sigma? I picked up an anti-Sigma virus program from Doppler and used it on my beam saber. Sorry about the delay, X. I thought the program might be the only thing that would work against Sigma. My program is disappearing this time, but someday I will. And with that, our heroes will escape, and this is the ending I'm going to show, even though this is not the ending I got the first time. I played the game the first way by letting Zero die at Mosquitos, and I want to show the best ending, which is letting Zero live, which means you have to kill Kaiser Sigma the hard way, which is the Buster. But with that, the base is not completely destroyed, but it is destroyed. It's still there. It's still mostly intact. And with this, we don't really know if Doppler actually died, but I like to think he died in the explosion because that's the only thing that really makes sense, because it doesn't really appear. But we get a little ending crawl here where it says X has crushed Sigma's plan once again. Yep, third time. Hopefully it's a charm. But many questions still occupy his mind. Why must humans fight against Reploids? Again? Really, X? What the fuck? And why must Reploids fight against each other? Again, we've had 2 games already that question this at the very end of the game, more or less. As X stares into the burning remains of Doppler's lab, his body trembles from an unknown sorrow. Yeah, Sigma's dead and we'll never have to see him again, hopefully. What does fate have in store for me? He wonders. Well, we got 5 games in Mega Man Zero series to figure that shit out. He can only hope that someday Dr. Light's plan for him will finally be revealed. Maybe. He gets derailed after Mega Man X5. Unknown to X, his destiny already has been decided. Okay. To save mankind, he must destroy Zero. Dude, how do you come up with that by the 3rd game? That's like... Okay, whatever. I don't know how that... Okay, whatever. But only time will tell, and why. Yeah, that always pondered me why they say to drop that on the 3rd game. They should have dropped that on the 4th game when they were all questioning each other if they were going to become Mavericks and everything. I'm spoiling Mega Man X4. I'm sorry, folks. But if Zero lives, he'll follow you through the city. If Zero's dead, not dead, if he got damaged, then he won't be behind X. But okay, my thoughts on Mega Man X3. I don't like Mega Man X3. Not nearly as much as I used to when I was younger, but I just don't like it because I feel that everything I felt took a step back. Even the music took a step back, but that's not to say that the music's bad, but I don't like the armor in this game. I don't like the abilities that it gives you outside of maybe the health regeneration from the hyper chip, the layout, not the layout, but the indicator on the 8 Mavericks screens where it says what you have and what you don't have. I do like that Zero's a playable character, but I don't like that he's only playable in certain sections. He's slow as hell. His attacks, especially the Z-Saber, he has to stand still when he uses the Z-Saber if he's on the ground. If he's in the air, then he can kind of sort of move. But the Saber, even for X, it's a little bit wonky at times to aim it. It takes a little bit of practice. I felt like, especially the special weapons, the only weapon I really liked was Tri-Thunder to begin with, and then, you know, Frost Shield kind of grew on me, so I did Acid Burst because they're extra abilities. But, man, there's not one ability that I just like overall. as quote unquote the best. Maybe try a Thunder, but that's a big maybe. It's still good, but it's not the best special weapon ever. The Mavericks, I do feel, are a lot better looking. I think this is like the pinnacle of the Super Nintendo era Mega Man X Mavericks. I think they look very good and detailed. Music kind of has this more rocky feel to it. Not like, hey, Adrian. No, just like rock and roll kind of feel to it. Which some of it's good, but it's not great. It's not like Mega Man X2, and it's definitely nothing like Mega Man X1. Sigma's fights, the first form is really easy, but the second one I feel can be very, very difficult if you don't have the Z Sabre or you don't have energy tanks. A lot of his attacks hurt a fuck ton. I mean, a lot of them just hit for 8 points of damage, and that's not counting his contact damage. I think his contact damage is even more. The story I don't like. I felt like they kind of rushed this game because it was probably at the end of the Super Nintendo's lifespan or the Super Famicom's lifespan, and they probably just wanted to move on to bigger and better things in the PlayStation era, because that's where Mega Man X4 starts and the Sega Saturn as well. But I do like the alternating boss fights at the end of Doppler's levels. And different endings, of course, because Mega Man X2 introduced that, and they kind of took it a little bit further in here with the alternating routes and Doppler's levels. I like that brought back Vile for what that's worth. Vile is probably one of my favorite Mavericks, mainly because of the Boba Fett reference. Dr. Doppler just did not feel like a threatening villain to me like the X-Hunters did, and future secondary antagonists. Sigma did look really cool here. I do like his first form, his Captain America form. I think that's the best looking Sigma out of the three. Now, Sigma's first form is kind of nostalgic for me, but Sigma's first form is pretty good. I think it's the best looking one of the three. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Mega Man X3. Not the best. I think this is probably my second least favorite Mega Man X game, probably. Mega Man X7 is my least favorite, followed by Mega Man X3, and then Mega Man X6, but that's a guilty pleasure of mine. But thank you for joining me, folks. I hope you liked this Let's Play. If you did enjoy it, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Later and bye.